Why don't modern women want to be housewives anymore? Some women do not want this because if the marriage does not work out, they are stuck without any way to support themselves or their children if they do not have a career. To be independent and self-sufficient is more of a lure than taking care of a house and kids. The pay sucks and there is no chance for advancement. Social isolation and lack of mental stimulation from being primarily a child rearer. Dependence on your husband for income. And feelings of inequality or inadequacy. Lack of satisfaction of career achievement. Less money in the household for a nice home. Vacations. Cars. College for the kids. Etc. I know quite a few women who were stay-at-home housewives at some point in their lives. They didn't need two incomes and could more than live off their husband's salary for the whole family. They all expressed how unhappy they were and how happy they were to return to work. I also know of some women that are housewives and have been for years. And they love it. Aside from some comments pointing out feelings of inadequacy, social isolation, independence versus controlling behavior, etc., I think there is also the problem that housewives often don't get a break. The husband works 9 to 5. Comes home and just wants to relax before going to bed, getting up, and doing it all over again. They get to clock out and leave their job, then come home and relax. Housewives don't get to clock out. They are expected to take care of the children and household chores morning, noon, and night. And what would you do if you were nearly 50 years old and your partner, who was the breadwinner, decided to divorce you? You would have no education or work experience to fall back on. Because modern women have seen the shitstorm situations this has put women in the past, having little work experience at 40 should your partner treat you like crap or choose to leave you, puts you most of the time in an entry-level job. You are subject to potentially controlling behavior by your partner since they bring home the money. You'll need to ask permission to buy that gaming console. It might be less scary for men. But there is also the fact you may end up trapped in a physically or emotionally abusive relationship with no way out financially or nowhere to go. It requires either a lot of trust or zero shits about where you end up in the future, or just being an idiot. One of the three. Edit. Wow guys, thank you so much for the awards. Nobody is stopping you from staying at home. Maybe there is an older businesswoman out there who earns enough for two and would like a young servant at home. Some women probably would like to have a career. Not all of us find fulfillment in that. I'd like to have my own money and not have to deal with kids all day. The fact that he said babysitting. Tears of joy.
Exclamation mark GIF.
You do have the option to be a stay-at-home dad though. Why do you feel like that's not an option for you? That might help you answer why lots of women don't want to. My wife did not enjoy staying home with the kids and likes to solve complex problems with a team of others. She likes to climb the ladder, and since she was like 30 she earned more than me. I retired at 38 to take care of the kids and I love it. It doesn't work for everyone. If she divorced me I would get half of a good sum, and I do have a lot of skills. Though I may be a little rusty, I'm not unemployable. Have you ever spent months alone with a baby? Have you ever gone through a period of several months where you see only one adult each day? I would love to be one. But in our economy, two incomes is needed. Also, if my partner got abusive and I wanted to leave, I wouldn't have money. I think the final issue is social isolation. I did it for 5 years. It was mind-bogglingly dull even though I adored my children. I got so depressed I took a job even though it only paid enough to cover daycare costs. Speaking as a man with a wife that manages our home, I don't think opinions really changed so much as society changed. A lot of women back then didn't want to be housewives, but they didn't have a choice. A lot of people now would like to be stay-at-home partners, but the financials just don't allow it. Living on a single income isn't easy. I have a 6-figure income. We don't have children and we still live a fairly modest life. I can't imagine trying to make it work if you had kids or made a lower salary. God forbid both. Realistically, if you want to be a stay-at-home partner, it's a lot harder than just making a decision. Finding a good partner is hard enough as it is. Now you're adding financial requirements on top of that. And you need someone that is open to this type of arrangement. If you don't want kids, that's likely to complicate things even more. That cuts down your options substantially. And when options are limited, sacrifices tend to follow. Side note, you're massively underestimating the difficulty in managing a home. Yes, you can keep it low maint if you want, but there are real sacrifices that come with that. Edit to add. And coming from the other side, are you sure you're able and willing to support a partner that wants to stay at home? Brass tacks. Do you actually make enough money? Are you going to be okay watching your coworkers drive nicer cars on the same salary? Are you going to treat your partner as an equal? I promise. If you come home with some, "I worked all day and all you did was vacuum" vibes, shit is not going to work out. I'm a guy, so maybe I am talking out of my ass, but here goes. Plenty of women would love to embrace that role. It's just not the only role anymore, so let's feel forced to do so. If it was more acceptable for a man to be a stay-at-home parent, you'd probably see a similar thing. Not to mention how many want to do so but can't due to finances. The days of single-income families are all but gone. Being a stay-at-home parent isn't easy. It's just as much work if not more than a job. Especially when kids are involved. Cleaning is never-ending, there's always dishes to do. And keeping kids' schedules in line is madness, then there's shopping, making dinner, etc. It's definitely not just send kids off to school and sit with a glass of wine and do nothing 90% of the day. Women are modern housewives. They take care of the kids. Usually work a full-time job or two. Shuttles the kids all around. Has to listen to 20-year-old dudes wax poetic about how easy it is gathering ingredients and preparing all of the meals. All the while the kids are complaining or fighting and you're getting texts, emails, calls from work. The role has changed, not the people doing it. I'm also a man in my 30s, so don't at me any MRA bullshit. Not that op would, but still. A lot of us aren't against that idea. It's just not financially viable anymore. Unless the spouse is making at least 2 people's salaries. Possible, but unlikely. The woman needs a job to support a household. There are plenty of women with rich partners who stay at home because they can. It's not so much a choice these days.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.